let's flip a coin. Head Carolina, tails California.
Hello, it's Andy Graham of the Ask Andy Show. 16 plus years of non-stop travel in 90 countries. I'm in Vilcabamba, Ecuador. Kind of the mountains in the background. It's kind of in a valley. One of the most perfect climates on the planet. 1,500 meters, 500 feet, 5,000 feet above elevation. Okay. Hello, Andy. This is William H. I want to thank you for your videos. Always make sure to watch them, and I will be ordering secret pockets before my next trip. Oh, if you're going to order secret pockets, make sure you give yourself a time to find somebody that can sew them into your pants. One way to support my website is me doing this is by buying my secret pockets. You go to hoboontheroad.com, and on the front page you'll see secret pockets. The Djampi, a really good way to scrub your body. It's I think you could probably use it almost without soap. It's because you really should minimize the soap. And then we have a bug bagger, which is really popular right now because the mosquitoes in America are out. Also, you can buy my book. So those are ways to support me. And I thank you, William. Okay, I've been traveling for the last 4 years. I am in the process of applying to some jobs in Peru and Lima, Peru. Okay, I don't understand what you mean traveling for the last 4 years. Are you a perpetual traveler, or are you just going on trips? Traveling is, to me, when you travel 365 days a year. Okay, I'm applying for some jobs in Cusco, Peru, and Lima, Peru. Have you been to these cities? Yes, I've stayed in Cusco a couple months of my life. Lima, Peru, you know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. There's one hotel I really love there. I forget the name of it. But it's a backpacker hotel, and it's this really huge one, and it's in the old town. What do you think of Peruvian people? I like Peruvian people. You know, in Lima they have a lot of like I stayed in this one hotel, and they had you know, you got your rich, and then you got your Peruvian people. It's almost the same as Ecuador. You know, there's a lot of theft. I mean, Lima, Peru is quite a dangerous city. The first time I was in Lima, Peru, I was in a taxi, and the people started surrounding the taxi, and the taxi driver actually took off through a red light. So I consider Lima, Peru at night one of the more dangerous places on the planet. But Lima is a really old city. It's a very historic city, and it's one of the cheaper places to fly in and out of. If you live in the United States, there's these places where you can get to easy. Lima would be very easy. Guatemala City's relatively easy. There's places that are much easier, but the distance is longer. Okay, he says, I have been searching for apartments online. Okay, all you're going to do is pay 4 times more if you rent an apartment online. Very seldom. The way to do this, if you're going to do it online, is you have to search for like the word blog, apartment, Lima, Peru, or blogger, and you got to say cheap, and then you got to find somebody that's talking about the apartment they're living in. Sometimes you can get on forums for places, but anybody that's like a apartment rental website, normally they're a waste of time. If you really are a traveler, go to, live in these places. They're both easy. You can go get the Lonely Planet guidebook, and there's hotels there for sure for $5 to $10 a day that are really nice. I mean, Cusco's got some really nice hotels with kitchens and stuff inside of them, and they're quite fun to live in. I love Cusco but it's kind of cold. I think it's at 2,500 meters. It's about the same as Cuenca. Cuenca is probably really cold. I mean, Quito, Ecuador is cold. La Paz, Bolivia is at 3,500 meters. But Cusco's an excellent place to live. I mean, in a way, it's a smaller city, much more manageable than Lima. But you got this, you got this elitist type crowd over there in I don't know, begins with M, near the coast there. You got the new section and the old section. There's this whole trendy party section, which really isn't so much Peru. But if you want to rent an apartment, how much was one? Any tips on finding a cheap long-term? after I arrive in the company. Okay, the way you find an apartment is you go to what I call the expat center in the universe. So the only way to really figure this out is really with the Lonely Planet guidebook or Rough Guides or Footprints or one of the guidebooks. And then you look at their map, and then you'll see where there's clusters of hotels they're recommending. That's normally the center of the backpacker universe. And once you're in that area, then you have all these expats that are living there that can help you to give you advice. So you got to find out. They'll show in there places where the expats eat, and you want to go in there, and then you're looking for bulletin boards, right? And then the bulletin boards will have listings for things. But like here, Vicabamba, there's actually these guys just almost trying to trap the crazy people. You can get an apartment here for almost $200, $300, $400. You can get a whole house for $400 here in Vicabamba, but there's guys over here trying to get $1,500. So, and this is the gringos preying on the gringos. And they're surely the same in Lima. If you got a choice, though, I would probably go to Cusco and live. But the end of the day is that, are you going there to have this fun of living inside the culture of Peru, or are you going there to, be the rich and famous American that basically doesn't want to talk to anybody? You have to really do some gut level things. But to me, the city of Cusco is a much more interesting city. There's much more culture, much more Peruvian, much more locals, much more indigenous. The last time I was in Peru, I'll never forget the taxi. I'll give you an example of how dangerous it is. I was in a taxi where they actually had a bar cage that they had welded around the driver so that you couldn't get to the driver. So he could basically drive the car, and you couldn't get to him, you couldn't touch him, you couldn't grab him from behind or anything like that. It was pretty scary. I mean, these are the signs of danger, okay? And you don't have that in Cusco, okay? So, Lima is a pretty dangerous town. It's like Belize City. Belize City is a really dangerous city in Central America. But strange as you go, some of the most dangerous places on the planet. I mean, Mexico is one of the most dangerous countries on the planet. But that's where a lot of Americans go. So, I mean, you really got to get a signal. But if you're trying to figure out for danger, look for the barbed wire, the number of dogs, the number of police, whether the size of the guns they got in their hands, like a machine gun. And I haven't seen any of that in Vicabamba. And I'm actually setting my camera. I couldn't do this. I couldn't set my camera up like this in Lima. Somebody's liable to run by, grab the camera, and run. But I mean, so the quality of life is also the sense of safety. I feel a lot safer in Cusco, but you should be able to. One way you got to do is you got to understand that you got to be convinced. Okay, if you go to Hobo Traveler and you get on the main page, there's this page that you go down there. There's budgets. You click on that link, budget, and it'll tell you what I believe you can live on in each of those countries. And what I've done is I've taken a salary of all the monthly salary, and I'm saying you should be able to live for less than the monthly salary of a local. If you can't live for that and you have to go above that, then you're doing something else, right? And but they build houses in a country for the locals. At the end of the day, when you rent something and it's only full of expats, you're going to pay 3 or 4 times higher. So if I was in Lima and I was looking for an apartment, I'd probably key in right around $200 to $300 a month. This is like April 8th or something, 7th or something like that, 2014. So you get around, if you're watching this and it's like 5 years later, it kind of goes up, right? Okay, so it's a little time sensitive when I say that. But anywhere on the planet, you can find an apartment except for the 25 overdeveloped countries. You have the underdeveloped countries, which are the normal countries. Then you have the overdeveloped countries, which are the 25 richest or the 50 richest. And Peru, get on the Human Development Index and you'll figure out the level of development, HDI they call it, Human Development Index, and search for the monthly salaries and get a grip on a person earns a day. If a person is only earning $15 a day and you're renting a place for $40 a day, the economically unfeasible apartment rental. It's meant to grab you for something that's more than it's worth in a way. But people do what they do, and it's complicated. But you really got to get in your mind what a fair wage, a fair value. Like, I'm really upset sometimes here in Vicabamba because what is fair? I mean, when I'm sitting there buying shampoo, then it's 2 or 3 times more than America. And they won't even turn around. They won't even show me the local stuff. I finally found up by the Commodore today a place where they have 5 or 6 brands of shampoo that are local. Because most of these guys, they strip it of all the cheap stuff and make sure you're buying the real expensive stuff. And, you know, it's going to say American words on it. And it's just a tourist trap mentality. Tourist trap mentality is like you have no choice, so you have to buy. Well, I always have a choice, and I'm not going to buy. But $300 in 200 countries on the planet is a great apartment. Like, I was paying $70 a month for a great apartment in Carbotogo, and I know that I could rent one here in Vicabamba, the Beverly Hills of Ecuador, for $300. I think I'll try to find these, and by the time I'm leaving here, I'll show you 2 or 3 houses that you can rent for you know, a cheap price, and I'll show you rooms you can rent by the month with high-speed internet for $150 a month. I'll find them all, and I'll try to put them all in one video. But Andy Graham, Ask Andy. Send your questions to hoboontheroad@yahoo.com, and any question. I've been to 90 countries, so global questions, and I really answer the challenging and something that makes me think and makes me happy questions faster.
We can pack up tomorrow.